Live rock and roll has always been unpredictable, but some nights cross the line from chaos into something genuinely disturbing. Smashed cameras, fan riots, sectarian brawls, and worse have marked some of the genre's darkest moments on stage. Here are 10 rock artists whose most disturbing live meltdowns shocked the world. Number 10. Gigi Allen. On July 31st, 1985, at a VFW hall in Creve Coeur, Illinois, a plan hatched hours earlier went horribly right. Allen first defecated on stage at that show. Promoter and friend Bloody Mess recalled being with him when he bought the X-Lax beforehand. After the act, chaos broke out as confused punk fans fled the hall because the smell was unbearable. Defecation became a regular part of his stage act from that point on. In his last interview, days before his death, Allen admitted to being arrested 52 times. He died from a drug overdose on June 28, 1993 at age 36. Bands like Faith No More and CKY later covered his music, ensuring his legacy of depravity lived on. Number 9. Sebastian Bach of Skid Row. On December 27, 1989, at the Springfield Civic Center in Massachusetts, Skid Row was opening for Aerosmith when the night took a violent turn. Somebody in the crowd threw a glass bottle at Sebastian Bach, hitting him in the head. Bach threw the bottle back, hitting a teenage girl who was not the thrower, then jumped into the crowd to attack the person responsible. The impact left the girl with a broken nose, requiring significant medical treatment. After the show, Bach was arrested by police and was eventually sentenced to 3 years of probation. A large cash settlement followed, reportedly in the $500,000 range. Bach himself later called it a stupid thing to do. Skid Row had achieved massive commercial success, with hits like 18 and Life peaking in the top 10. The bottle incident became an inescapable stain on that legacy.
Sucker, I dare you to come up here right now and give a piece!
Number 8. Guns N' Roses. The Riverport riot took place on July 2, 1991 at the Riverport Amphitheater in Maryland Heights, Missouri during the Use Your Illusion tour. During the band's performance of Rocket Queen, singer Axl Rose spotted a fan with a camera. That fan was Bill Stump Stevenson, a member of a local motorcycle club called the Saddle Tramps. Rose said, "I'll take it, goddammit," and jumped into the audience to tackle the man. After returning to the stage, Rose grabbed his microphone and said, "Well, thanks to the lame-ass security, I'm going home," then slammed his mic down and walked off.
"Thanks to the lame-ass security, I'm going home."
The riot that followed injured 65 people, including 25 police officers, resulting in dozens of arrests and hundreds of thousands of dollars in property damage. Rose was charged with 4 counts of assault and 1 count of property damage. He pleaded guilty, receiving a court-ordered donation of $50,000 to local charities and 2 years of probation. The band did not play St. Louis again until 2017.
Now, hit that guy and take that!
Number 7. Megadeth. On May 11, 1988, Megadeth played the Antrim Forum in Northern Ireland. Thrash metal was surging worldwide, and Megadeth were riding high in the metal underground. The gig took place at a time when the bitter dispute over whether Ireland should be part of the UK exploded into violence on a regular basis. After fortifying himself with shots and cocaine behind his amps, Megadeth's leader returned to the stage and introduced their cover of the Sex Pistols' Anarchy in the UK with the words, "Give Ireland back to the Irish." This one is for the cause. It divided the crowd right down the middle, Protestants and Catholics, Mustaine later said. "We were escorted out of town that night in a bulletproof bus." The next morning, bassist David Ellefson would not speak to him. Mustaine channeled his guilt into the song Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, which became the opening track of Rust in Peace. That drunken gaffe in a war zone produced one of thrash metal's all-time masterpieces. Number 6. Black Sabbath. On October 9, 1980, Black Sabbath was performing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in support of Heaven and Hell, their first album with vocalist Ronnie James Dio. The band was reinvented and riding a wave of critical praise. But on that autumn night, the audience had other plans. Just a few songs into their set, bassist Geezer Butler was struck in the head by a glass bottle thrown from the crowd. He was taken off stage bleeding, and the band was forced to stop the show. A crowd of thousands erupted. Fans tore out seats, hurled debris, and clashed with security. Police were called in to restore order, and approximately 160 people were arrested. The damage reportedly reached around $40,000. Sabbath continued the Heaven and Hell tour, but Milwaukee remained a cautionary tale about how quickly a sold-out metal show could spiral into full-blown destruction. Before we continue, which of these meltdowns shocked you the most so far? Did you ever witness a concert go completely off the rails back in the day? Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Number 5. Slayer. By 1988, Slayer had already earned a reputation as one of the most ferocious live acts on the planet. South of Heaven had just dropped, and the band was touring relentlessly. At a packed show at the Felt Forum in New York City on August 31st, the intensity of the performance ignited a violent frenzy in the pit that security could not contain. Fans began ripping the historic venue's bolted seats from the floor, using them as weapons against security and each other. The destruction was so severe that Slayer was banned from multiple venues for years afterward. Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman were known for pushing crowds to their absolute limit, and that night, the limit broke. Bands like Pantera and Sepultura cited Slayer's unhinged live energy as a direct influence on their own stage approach. The 1988 tour incidents remain a defining chapter in thrash metal's wildest era. Number 4. Wasp. In 1984, Blackie Lawless and his band burst onto the Sunset Strip with a stage show designed to terrify. Raw meat was hurled at audiences. Fake blood drenched the stage. Lawless performed strapped to a medieval torture rack while wielding a circular saw blade between his legs. The shows were loud, shocking, and deliberately confrontational. Local authorities in multiple cities tried to shut them down. Venues canceled dates under pressure from religious groups and parents. Fallout reached Washington. Wasp's Single Animal became one of the primary exhibits in Tipper Gore's PMRC Senate hearings in 1985. Lawless was publicly defiant, calling the censorship efforts a threat to artistic freedom. The controversy, ironically, drove album sales higher. Their self-titled debut went gold. Lawless had turned moral outrage into free publicity. But the onstage spectacle that started it all was genuinely unnerving to witness firsthand. Number 3. Ozzy Osbourne.
Tell me it's real. I'm the what?
On January 20th, 1982, at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa, a moment occurred that would define a career. During the Diary of a Madman tour, a fan tossed something onto the stage. Ozzy, deep into a haze of substance abuse, assumed it was a rubber toy. He picked it up, bit down, and immediately realized it was a real bat. The crowd erupted. Ozzy was rushed to the hospital for rabies shots immediately after the set.
Seated by his infamy.
I looked evidently through an unconscious.
The bat incident made international headlines and cemented Ozzy's reputation as the ultimate madman of metal. His solo career was already surging, with Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman going multi-platinum, powered by Randy Rhoads on guitar. Ozzy later admitted he had no idea the bat was real. Black Sabbath fans already knew he was wild, but Des Moines proved he was operating on another level entirely. The moment remains the single most famous rock and roll stage story ever told.
Unconscious bat on the stage, and he thought it was a rubber bat.
Number 2. Tool. February 23, 1997, at the London Astoria, Maynard James Keenan delivered one of the most surreal displays of physical dominance ever seen on a rock stage. During a performance of Push It, a fan rushed the stage with full momentum. Without missing a single note, Keenan hip tossed the fan to the ground, placed him in a chokehold, and sat on his back while continuing to sing. He held the position for several minutes until security arrived to remove the intruder. The footage became legendary in the underground scene. Keenan, a practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, treated the situation with eerie calm. Tool's Enema album had debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. Adam Jones, Danny Carey, and Justin Chancellor kept playing as if nothing had happened. No rock star tantrum, no broken equipment, just quiet, controlled violence from a frontman who refused to let anyone disrupt his art. Number 1. Deep Purple. The California Jam Festival was held at the Ontario Motor Speedway in Ontario, California on April 6, 1974. It attracted over 200,000 fans. Deep Purple were the biggest-selling album act in the U.S. at the time. The festival was running ahead of schedule, and organizers tried to convince them to go on early. At the end of Space Truckin', Richie Blackmore smashed his Stratocaster repeatedly into an ABC television camera. He went on to destroy several more guitars before a larger-than-expected explosion in his Marshall stacks set his hair on fire. Ian Pace's glasses were blown clean off his face, and a nearby cameraman was left temporarily deaf. The damage to the camera was estimated at $10,000, later settled by the band's managers. Blackmore evaded arrest by fleeing the venue in a helicopter. The California Jam footage aired on ABC to millions of viewers. It turned Deep Purple into a household name and remains the meltdown that launched a legend.